When we talk about unity, what do we actually mean by unity? Does it mean, first of all, talking about the Republican Party, that we're going to find a common denominator of every person who has an R after their name, and that's unity? No. Republican unity means, by and large, taking the main coalitions or the main constituents of the Republican Party and giving them all and inspiring them to want to vote Republican. But at the same time, you want to frame your message in such a way that you get independents, you also lure some Democrats. So unity is never a matter, and I think Trump understands this very well. We'll find out when we watch his speech, when he gives it later this week, that unity doesn't actually mean finding the people who want to destroy you, and frankly, finding the people who want to destroy the country and unifying with them. Because our agenda and their agenda are incompatible. I mean, that was true even in the Reagan era. The Reagan era, the Reagan agenda and the Carter agenda, or the Reagan agenda and the Reagan and the Mondale agenda were incompatible, even though the country was closer together at that point. By and large, debates were not over ends, they were over means, but nevertheless, there was sharp disagreement over means. Now, the left and the right disagree over ends, not just means. And that means MAGA has got to be interpreted not as unifying the country per se, but unifying the country against the left. This is the key. Let's go back to Abraham Lincoln for a moment. Lincoln understood that bringing the country together doesn't mean finding a new consensus in which the slave master and the Republicans sit down and, quote, iron out their differences. Lincoln understood that unifying the country is unifying the country on a consensus that slavery shall not be allowed to spread. That was the Republican platform. Lincoln was willing to compromise up to that point, but no further. He was implacable beyond that. And that's important to realize in any kind of compromise. This is also true of normal negotiations. You go in, you go, okay, I'm going to ask for X. I'll be willing to settle for Y, but I'm not willing to settle for anything below Y. So there you go. You draw the line. And the meeting of the minds is over that basic starting point. And so I think this is the point that Republicans do seek unity, but not unity at any price, and not a certain kind of weak unity that finds the lowest common denominator, but to unify over the core principles that will save America.